All right. To continue our series on beginners projects, I've kind of ventured away for a minute from some of them. But here's one of the best beginners projects that I believe is there. And let me get this. Let me get this all fixed up here where y'all can see it. I have to do this all myself. I don't have anybody holding the camera for me, so I have to kind of get this. Okay, this is a little, now you can do this with any bird. That's what's good. This is a little cardinal, but you can do it with any bird. Where you cut simply out the pattern of the cardinal itself, or the bird itself, and then you cut the wings out separate from it. And when you're through carving or shaping it, you just put the wings on it like that, in other words. See? And this is a unique little project. This is cut out of 3/4 inch piece of basswood, and the wings are cut out of they're cut out of 1/2 inch, but you could cut them out of 3/4 and cut them down, in other words, to whittle them down. But this is just a real simple little project. It doesn't take a long time. It's perfect for beginners because you learn how to shape. And we'll show you when it's all over how the project looks. So you want your grain to be running this way if you possibly can. You don't really want your grain to because you're going to be carving mostly in this direction. So you want your grain to be running this way. Okay? You want it to be coming this way. Just like on the wings. You want your grain to be coming this way. Just like that. Okay? So you take your body of your little cardinal, okay, and you simply begin to, now I'm outside so you're going to hear some different things. You simply begin to, of course the beak right here is going to have to come forward, at which we simply, on both sides, we begin to bring that beak down. Okay. And we just begin to sort of bring that whole piece down, just like the crown up here of the cardinal. That has to be brought down. All this has to be brought down. Now, on the tail, on a bird's tail, we just sort of do this little number. We sort of like bring it in a little bit. In other words, just carve it in a little bit, where it sort of flares out. Okay. Which sort of flares out like that, in other words, just sort of. It's raining here today, so you're hearing a little bit of rain. But that tail just sort of flares out like that. See that? Okay. All right. And we just, all you do is on both sides just sort of shape it. This is I try to choose these projects that are for shaping more than anything in the world, where you don't have a lot of detail for beginners. Just like that. And of course the crown. Now if you want to, you can't really see you can go ahead and put down the middle of the Cardinal, put a little line that kind of gives you a general idea of how far on each side that you put these. I mean, in other words, that you carve. Now, the crown of a Cardinal is going to come up quite a bit. What I'm saying is going to come to a point almost quite a bit. Hear the thunder? See what I'm saying? And of course the beak's going to come down a lot more. See? See, like that. And we start shaping this. And shaping this. Now remember, as a beginner, remember one thing about carving. Must understand. I'm going to show you the grain is running this way. So let me show you what happens when you go against the grain. See that knife, the way it digs in? See that? See the way it digs in like that? When your knife digs in like that, you stop. You come the other way and watch this. See? You don't have that. Very, very important that you understand what grain is as a new carver. See how I'm doing that? Now watch me when I turn that knife and try to come this way. Look, see? See it? That's how you break things. But you see this way, look at it just take the one. Grain is so important to understand to a carver. Now to a woodworker like somebody making furniture, grain is doesn't matter all that much. I mean, it may matter in how you want it to look, but it does not matter as far as the way the wood is going to cut on the bandsaw. I mean, on the saw or whatever. In other words. Okay. Now, if you look at this and you look at this, of course, this is too wide, so all this has to be brought down. That all has to be brought down in there. See how you shaping it? Just shaping it, and this all has to be brought down in here. You're just shaping bringing this figure down, sort of give you a shape to it. And this is what's good about these projects. They're shaping, what I call shaping projects. It doesn't require a lot of detail or anything like that. You're just rounding off the corners, shaping the piece so that it looks good. Just like this. See? Do some more. Kind of removing the saw marks, as we call them, getting those down. Now, This flat surface in here, we're going to flatten it a little bit anyway for the. But you don't want to cut too much. You want to do it mostly around the piece and not too much in the surface here, because of the simple fact that you're going to put your wings there, and you want kind of a flat surface to put your wings. Let's flatten this tail out a little bit more, okay? Let's just flatten that out. Make it more of a flat. Okay. Just kind of get this shape. Look at that. See it? Now, before we go any further, let's go ahead and come up here where our beak is, and let's just sort of draw that beak back in there, where it was just sort of like a little triangle. I'm going to come on this side and do the same thing. Okay, just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our knife and we're going to cut into that beak. What I'm saying is we're just going to run our knife like this, and run our knife like that, and then we're going to go from the inside, not the outside, but the inside. There we go. Like that. See it? And then we're going to do the same over here. Cut. Cut. Come from the inside. Like that. See that? And there, I'm going to bring this out just a little bit. I mean, just define this a little bit more in here. And there's your beak. See that? And we're just going to kind of come here, and we're just going to make this a little bit, get these saw marks off of here. Okay. Now you can also get those saw marks off with a piece of sandpaper too. You can get them off by simply Okay, now we've got our little cardinal pretty much shaped the way we want him to be shaped. Like I said, you can do the same thing with sandpaper. See that? See how that little beak fits? It kind of comes to a point almost, in other words. Okay. Make this seem a little bit flatter. There we go. Which is basically flat. Okay. Now, what we want to do is now we want to take our little wings. Now we want to be very, very careful. And what you want to do is to I'm sorry. You want to take your wing. Now, once again, I've told you that the grain is running this way. So you want to take and you want to bring that wing down like this. Okay? Which means you're going to take the wing and you're going to do this number. Just like that. See that? See that? Then you're going to take this and you're going to bring this down just a little bit. Where it gives that kind of flowing look like that. Now, the key is to just start bringing that okay. Now then you start bringing the rest of the sides down. Now I tell you what, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna have to take my glove off because with my hands I cannot handle this, cannot hold this piece, a small piece like this with gloves on. I just can't. My hands are, your hands probably are not as bad as mine are right now when it comes to things, but I can't hold a piece, and it makes the project become more and more dangerous for me trying to hold it. I'll cut myself then. That is not an excuse to you not using your glove now, okay? And you see, you just start bringing that wing down. Now, watch this. See that? Now, if I just kept trying to force that, what's going to happen? I'm going to break that whole piece off. So I turn it around, and look. See? See, not only are you're forcing the knife, but you're going to break something when you try to go against the grain. When you feel that knife digging in, when you feel that knife wanting to force, you have to force that knife, then you got a problem. And that's two solutions. Either your knife is not very sharp, or you're trying to go against the grain. Okay. Now look, see your little wing? Now I'm going to bring it down even a little bit more. It still needs to have a little bit more. Now you can do this a little bit. Mine's a little bit small here. Oh, look at this. See? I'm going to kind of bring this down just a little bit in here. Just dragging that knife kind of, and then look at that, see? Look. See how it looks? I'm gonna bring it down a little bit more. Now you can bring the, you can make the wing as thin as you want it to. I'll leave it a little bit thicker, just so it has sort of a unique look to it, in other words. But you can bring it down real thin if you want to. It doesn't matter how, it just depends on what you want, in other words. But you do want this wing sort of to come down like this, and this end sort of to fold over like that, in other words, just a little bit. So it'll give that look to it. Okay. Now, remember this. This is the most important thing. All right. Now, I made this wing for this side, okay? Don't take the wing and say, okay, well, I'm going to make this one exactly like this one. No, because you're going to do the exact opposite. Now, do you understand what I'm saying? Oops. Okay. This wing is for this side, okay? And it folds down like this. This wing is for this side, so it's gonna come this way. See, if you cut it this way, then it's not gonna look right. You're gonna put it on this side, and then you're gonna come down on this side like here. See? They're completely opposite of one another. So we're gonna cut down. See? Like that. And we're going to come over here and come down here. Like that. And that's 1/2 inch wood. You can do it out of 3/4, but it just means that you're going to have to do more carving. Now, this is this is not a very big bird. I mean, not a very big cardinal. So you might have to, you know, you can still do it 3/4 if it's a little bit bigger. I'll tell you in a minute how long it is and everything like that. And if you are friends with me on YouTube, I'm going to put the picture of it and the pattern for it on there. So if you want to be friends with on YouTube, then you don't have to. A lot of people don't do YouTube, and I understand that. But YouTube, Facebook, I'm sorry. Facebook has allowed for me. First of all, Facebook has two things that have helped in me carving. One, it is allowed me to have contact and see pictures of my grandchildren, who they live in Kentucky and I live in Texas, which is just fantastic. But second of all, it's been able to let me show these carvings and put the pattern also on there for those of you that would like to do it. So I'm under Gene Messer, G-E-N-E-M-E-S-S-E-R, and you want to, then I'll friend you, and you can. I don't think I would even be on Facebook if it really wasn't for showing the carvings and the patterns and helping people. I get a lot of people asking questions, and okay, now you see how opposite these are? Now you can put them side by side a little bit, but they're going to be opposite as far as how they're going to look. So now what you can do is you can put them up against one another, And as you can see, this one is a little bit thicker than this one, so we'll bring this one down a little bit. But I use Facebook more than anything in the world for carving, for showing carvings, for helping people learn about carving than anything too. Facebook is social media is a very fine thing to help. All right, I'm just putting these two together and watch. Just kind of, now you see. Kind of make them similar to one another. Put them together. There we go. And look at that. They're just almost perfect with one another. They really are. But and of course, like I said, when you're living in Texas and your grandchildren are living in Kentucky, it's just very, very hard to not be with them. Of course, I would be in Kentucky right now, but I have a mother who's 89 and lives down here and won't go to Kentucky. And so I have to take care of her until something happens or whatever. And anybody knows dealing with an 89-year-old person sometimes is not the easiest thing in the world. Okay. They're done. And one of them, now we're going to go to the other side here, and I think we're not going to have any problem. This side will fit here. And this side will fit here, and I'll glue these on there, and when I get through with it, I'll show you. Okay.